something very short and sweet on the parsha, just to open us up a little bit. This is Matan Torah, and we all know the famous line, Ki'ish echad b'lev echad. Famous, Klal Yisrael. How do we accept the Torah? Ki'ish echad b'lev echad. One man with one heart. And of course, Achdus, the critical need for Achdus in Klal Yisrael and Am Yisrael is, of course, important. And Baruch Hashem, we're in the middle of a time of unparalleled Achdus. And really, our tefillah, our hope, our dream is that Achdus should just continue. But just to realize, what does it mean, Achdus? And what does it mean, how far it goes? I saw a beautiful mashal, a nice, short, quick analogy that really brings out what does it mean, Achdus? What does it mean that everyone comes together? And there's so many levels and layers that Achdus applies. And the short mashal is as follows. There was a large business for sale, and it was an auction, and many wealthy businessmen are there, and they're telling over all the different details. And the bidding begins, and the price is rising, and it's getting higher, and different wealthier businessmen are getting involved, and the price is going higher and higher. And in the middle of this whole auction, for the back of the room, there's this person walks in. No one really recognizes him. He's clearly not the same level of wealth and the same level as wealthy, large business owner as everyone else. And he looks at what the price is up to. He bids well above that. And everyone is shocked and the place is silent. How does this guy, who is this guy? What's he bidding? And to the point that someone screams, are you joking? You don't have such money. How are you putting in such a bid? And right before, they're counting going once, and they're counting going twice, and everyone there is wondering, wait, is this real? Are you for real? And before the gavel bangs, he says, I'll explain very simply. He says, yes, I don't have that money. And everyone starts screaming, see, I told you so. I knew he was a fraud. What a joke. Get him out of here. He says, wait, I don't have the money. But outside, I've been out there with 20, 30 other businessmen like myself, lower tier. And we've all pooled our funds, and we all as a group are buying this business. And with that, the room is silent, the gavel bangs, and this group of people buys this incredible business. And from here, what do we see? That one person by himself, it's true, can't do it. But when you get together with another and another and another, your power, the power in the numbers, and that's what it means. Ki'ish echad b'lev echad. Klal Yisrael comes together as one. Our power is unimaginable. And this, of course, is where the pasuk says, "V'yanu kol ha'am yachdav," that the entirety of Klal Yisrael answers in unison, and they say, Na'aseh v'nishma, that the only way that we could get to Torah is when we're in unison, is when we're all together as one. And of course, the takeaway is that it's not about the wealthiest guy or not, and it's not about everyone being in the same mindset. It's the realization that all of Klal Yisrael is one. We're all one body. We're all one entity. And that entity includes the toes and the fingers and the nails and the dirt. And that entity includes people maybe who aren't at the same place that we are at. And maybe one who's not ready yet to be a full Shomer Shabbos. But he's a Yid, he's a Jew. And as Rav Bruni, him screaming is in my bones, as he said so many times. What do we daven every day? Achenu kol beis Yisrael. And what are we davening for? A Yid, a beis Yisrael, hanisunin batzara uvashivya. It's irrelevant ideologies. It's irrelevant where he's holding in his level, in his relationship to God. What's relevant is it's another Yid. And as we walk into Matan Torah, and we know that each Parsha happens again, which means this week in Shul is going to be a Maimed Har Sinai. This week we're going to accept the Torah again. How do we accept the Torah? We accept the Torah by making a commitment. But the number one, before even uttering the words of Nasav and Ishma, what's the first step commitment? Is Kol Ha'am Yachdav. Is that we have to all come together. We have to embrace each other. We have to be willing to accept those that maybe don't share our views, that maybe aren't the same as us. But once we realize that we're all part of this one large and beautiful entity called Am Yisrael, then we could all come to accept the Torah. And what is the acceptance of the Torah? What this we conclude, what's the Nasav and Ishma? That we accept that we're going to try. But the question always everyone has is, Torah is so big, especially you learn halacha, and as you learn more, you start wondering and you start saying, there's so much I didn't know. How is it possible? How could I say Nasav and Ishma? But there's all these halachas I don't know about. And maybe I'm doing things right, and maybe I'm doing things wrong. And how is it possible that I could really, with a clear conscience, say, yeah, I'm going to do it? It sounds fake. It sounds phony. So the answer is, we're taught by our Gedalim, Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, it's really Rabbi Yaina, that when one says, I'm going to get on the path to try, I'm going to join a shir, I'm going to have a rav, I'm going to ask the shayla, that decision, says Rabbi Yaina, propels him as if he did it all. As if he already learned it all, he fixed all his problems, and he's already holding at the finish line. Why? Because he's on the journey. And the difference between one who is trying to learn and one who is not is the one in reality that could say Nasav and Ishma, is the one that could say, I'm trying. I might not get there. Halacha is large and vast, and I have a long ways to go. But you know what? I'm accepting to listen. I'm accepting to try. B'siyata d'shmaya, the more we accept to try, the more we accept to listen, the greater we'll become, the closer we'll become. And Amir Tashem, what comes with Maimed Har Sinai, of course, comes that Hashem heals all our issues, all our sicknesses will absolve, all our relationship problems will fall away, because that's what happens when one accepts the Torah in earnest and in honesty.